Welcome to episode 13 of All for Geek. Today on the show, we are going to be talking about the new TV show, Awake. I'm the Phil, or whatever you want to call me. And of course, you can go to AllForGeek to watch this show and see more episodes. And today we're joined by Adam. Hey, Adam.
What's up, Internet world? All for Geek viewers. Good to see you today. Thanks for having me on the show, Phil.
No problem. You're a new co-host in our new line of revolving co-hosts. And you'll be back if you ever have another topic you want to talk about. So that's the pretty cool thing about this show right now. But today you wanted to talk about Awake. And I just watched it right before we started doing this recording. So I'm fresh as a daisy when it comes to that. It's like I have my own maxi pad of TV show entertainment in my head.
You are the Kotex of the internet podcast world at this point in time, yes.
Oh, see, that's something new I could put on my resume.
Would that look good on a resume, really? The Kotex of internet podcasts. I think that would be something the employers, if you're out there listening right now, you're going to want to hire the Phil because he is the Kotex of the video blog world.
And before we get into this, what kind of thing are you from? Like, tell me about yourself.
Well, some people may recognize me as a professional wrestler. I work for Ontario Championship Wrestling, a local independent organization here in Kingston and the surrounding areas. Of course, when I'm performing, I go by the name Adam Contant. And of course, we do hold events every single month, including Friday, March the 30th, 8 p.m. at the Lions Club on John Counter Boulevard, 825 John Counter Boulevard. Tickets are on sale now. You can call me, 613-929-0303 for tickets, or visit our website, www.ocwrestling.ca. So there, I got my plug in.
You have to tell me if you get any prank calls, because this is going all over the internet.
I'm sure there will be plenty abound.
All right, so let's get into it. Awake, new TV show where this guy is he's a detective, correct?
Yeah, he's a police detective, and he gets into a car accident with both his wife and his son. When he wakes up, his wife is dead, but then when he goes to sleep at night and wakes up again, he's with his son. So he's really living a dual life where we're led to believe that one reality is a true reality and the other reality is a dream world.
But the thing is he thinks that they're both real. He doesn't know if one's a dream, and he's afraid if one could be a dream.
Right, and it's very interesting because the device that they kind of use to connect the two worlds are the psychologist that he goes to visit, his shrinks, which I really like as a plot device. I really think it's fantastic because even in the two different realities, his shrinks have very different personalities. One of them is very encouraging of this alternate reality that he's created, whereas the other one is trying to get him to give up this alternate reality. So it's a very cool concept, and I like the way that things are very comparable in each world, each dream state.
Yeah, so we'll go right into we pretty much explained it, but he has the car crash. One state his son died, one state his wife died, and while he's trying to cope with these two realities, he's still trying to solve crimes, doing his job.
Yeah, absolutely. And the neat thing about that is that they've given him different partners for each reality. And it was funny because when my wife and I first watched the first episode, I remember her commenting, "Is that Fez from that 70s show?" and it is, which is great. And actually, I really like the dynamic that they've set up with the two different worlds, because in one world, Fez is his partner, and he's kind of a rookie who's been assigned to look after him, and so he's very much the authority in that relationship. Whereas in the other reality, his cop partner has been with him for years, and they're friends, they're buddies, and so it's more of a give and take relationship between those two. So the writers of the show definitely have given themselves some options in terms of how to write the character, which is going to be really great for them because it does allow them to be a bit more creative in that sense.
I think when it comes to the show's character plotline, it excels. It's an amazing plotline for this character, and the actor is really good, like really brilliant. The thing, the place where this show falls a little apart, like not enough to even stop me from watching because I love it, but it falls a little bit apart, and I think it's because it was a pilot episode. They just wanted to show an example, but the crime that was committed, like without giving away too much, it was really, to me, it was bland. It was forgettable. No one cared. It was just an example of how he could use both states of mind, let's say, both areas, to help him solve the one crime that is committed in both states of mind. And I know that's confusing, but
yeah, I do. I actually really like that, and it's one of the things that I was looking for when I watched episode 2 was clues from one reality that would help him to solve the crime in the other reality. And I think that in episode 2, which just aired this past. Okay, well, I will say that then you will probably be pleased with episode 2, as the crime that is committed, or the crimes that have been committed in episode 2, tend to be a bit more complicated than they were in the first one. Not to give too much away, but I think you're going to find that it is going to lead to a little bit more complex storytelling, which I think you're going to be quite interested in.
Yeah, they definitely had to fit a lot into the first episode, which I commend them for, and that's probably why the crime was so...
Well, I think that with a show like this, the crimes are really secondary.
Yeah.
It's really about this detective and his relationship with those in each of his adjoining realities. So the crimes really do become secondary, as opposed to a show like a CSI or... even a Criminal Minds, although I really feel like that's a show that's really about the people as well. One thing I will say is that I'm happy that it's designed like that as well, because I didn't watch this show, or I didn't become interested in this show because it was another cop drama. Like, I mean, I've seen cop dramas, and I've had my fill of them. There's only a few that I'll watch, but this show is more about the people itself and about the relationships, and kind of exploring that idea of the transition between the two worlds, which is what I found fascinating about it. So I'm glad that they're not too heavy on the actual crimes themselves, because then it becomes just another cop drama, and I'm not interested in watching that.
I just think they'd get way more viewers if they were to put as much effort as they do in the storyline of him having that issue, as they would in the crimes themselves as well. Like, I don't mean like just do an episode about the crime, but have it more important, I guess.
I think that, again, after watching the second episode, you're going to find that at this point in time, after that first episode, that pilot episode, we don't really expand much beyond the detective and his family and his partners, the immediate people in his inner circle. Episode 2, you are going to start to see supporting characters play a more important role. Characters that you may not have been established, or that may not have been established in the first episode, are established in this episode, and you'll see by the end of it, they're going to start playing a bigger role. So I think that you're going to find that it's going to be a bit more in that vein of more complicated cases that revolve and weave back into the two alternate realities.
There's a show that this reminds me of, that was on for maybe just one season, I think it was, and it had a guy that's in a TV show now. I forgot what TV show that is, but he goes back into the 70s and
Okay.
he's a cop, but he goes back into the 70s and he has to become a cop there, and he's trying to get back. And it was just on like a year or so ago, I think a year ago, and it's something Mars or something. I wish I remember. I just remembered it during the show. If I would have remembered that earlier, I would have researched it. But great.
The only show I remember with Mars in the title is Veronica Mars, and I don't think that's what you're talking about.
Wasn't that? It was just. It's just this. It's saying almost the same concept, but a different concept. Like this guy is trapped in the 70s, trying to figure out these crimes back then and trying to fix reality, kind of thing. But yeah,
my uncle's like that. He's stuck in the 70s too.
It's on Netflix, so go look for it. But
you know what else is on Netflix? Another really great time travel show that I thought you were referencing, and I got really excited, was Quantum Leap.
Yeah, great.
And I started showing that to a friend of mine the other day. He'd never seen it, and you got me a little excited there talking about Quantum Leap.
I can see how if someone who hasn't watched Quantum Leap and is more interested in shows now could see Quantum Leap as being boring, because if you go back and watch some of it, if you're not like us who watched it in the past, which I did, but like most people would find it boring because it just doesn't have the strength that the shows do now, because they have to be popular.
I don't know if it's necessarily that. I think it's like, I mean, I will admit, like, we sat and watched the pilot, and the pilot was like 2 hours. It was like a full-length movie. And, I mean, it got a little plodding at times, because one of the main points of the pilot is that the Scott Bakula character loses his memory of the leap, so he doesn't remember anything. But I'm going on about Quantum Leap, and if you ever want me on the show to talk about Quantum Leap, believe me, I will do it.
So this show... out of 10, what would you give this show?
It's fairly early, and right now I have really enjoyed what I've seen. It's not one of the shows that I've seen this season where I've just been like, oh my god, it's amazing. And there have been some shows that have really hooked me in right away, but the concept is so damn intriguing to me that I am going to give it another shot. Right at this moment, it is a little too early for me to tell, but if I was going to rate it, I would give it about 7.5, I would say. There hasn't been enough there to make me like rave about it and go like right online and been like, oh, everybody has to watch this. But there's definitely a lot of strong substance there for me. So I'm going to give it a few more episodes. Probably call me again in about another couple episodes and see how I feel about it. Because for me, you've got to watch a couple. Yeah, give me till the end of the season. Seriously, let me watch it until the end of the season, because it could be one of those shows where it's like it builds right up into something, which I'm in favor of. Or it could just be one of those shows where like right out of the gate it's got a couple good episodes and then takes a dive. Who knows? But right now, from what I'm seeing, 7.5. It's solid, it's good, and it's well worth investing your time every Thursday night on NBC.
Yeah, I would give it a similar 8 out of 10. I like it a lot. I love these interesting concept shows. I always have to worry with these types of shows that the storyline stuff is going to get out of hand and it's just going to get boring or stale, like stuff like Desperate Housewives, or like just start going down that route. You know how you get these cool concept shows, but then they start going too much womanly drama type stuff, and I hate when they do that. But this seems to be going along a great course, even though I've only seen one episode. And there's so much you can do with this show. The big question I have for you, Adam, and taking your personal opinions out of the picture, do you think that this is going to be one of those shows that may be canceled before it really gets a chance to get the ball rolling?
Well, it all comes down to ratings in the end, right? I mean, if it doesn't matter how good it is or not. If people are watching, people will watch. I think Big Brother's proven that. And when it comes to the show Awake, I think that there will be enough people watching it because, like you said before, the acting is strong. The stories so far have been well written and well structured, and it's a really cool concept. I mean, I'm sure that in the pitches for this show, people were like, "Hey, a lot of people went and saw Inception, and that's a cool idea. Let's do something about dream states." Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a big hook for me because I love that movie. So if they can keep it as clever as that, then I'm all for it, kind of thing.
Yeah, so many of these types of shows end up being canceled after the first season, and it's unfortunate because there's a lot of I'm sure you can think of a few shows out there that have really gotten good after the second season, or even a lot of shows that do a primary run of like 6 or 7 episodes to test out the waters, and then get canceled before they even around 6 or 7 they get really good, and people don't have a chance to show that because the network takes that whole bulk of 6 or 7 shows instead of the last 2 or 3.
I would actually say that the majority of my favorite television shows have ended up in that secondary pile.
Firefly.
Right. And for me, it's funny. It's all animated stuff like Mission Hill or Clone High is probably one of the funniest shows I've ever seen in my life, and it only got a 1-season run, which was unfortunate because my God, is that show ever funny?
I agree.
Stuff like that, even the Clerks.
So Adam just paused. He just had a glitch, and I do apologize. I think he was going with Clerks or something. But if he comes back, we'll continue. But let's just say that this show is pretty damn good. Check it out. You can watch it on TV. I'm sure one of the websites for the networks has it where you can watch it on demand. And then that's it. So I'm from All4Geek, as you know. Check out AllForGeek.com. We just got a YouTube page that's All4Geek. And Adam is from OCWrestling.com. That's OCWRESTLING.com. And if I am saying that link wrong, I'll have it fixed in the bottom here. And that's it. Thank you, Adam, for joining us today. I apologize that Google Hangouts glitched and kicked you out, but he'll probably be back with another topic very soon. And he'll also come back. I'm over here now. Oh, hey, Kyle. I'm just wrapping up the show. As I was saying, Kyle... Adam will probably come back for a wrap-up of the season of Awake. Kyle, did you see Awake at all?
No.
No. Kyle, you should go see Awake. So, Kyle, maybe you could watch Awake at some point, and if you get into it, you can come on the wrap of season 1 review, and we'll talk about that.
Sure. I can always do Red Dwarf too.
So, Kyle, for Adam... say something for Adam, because Adam can't be here to say goodbye.
Adam would tell you to go check out thetechnophiles.com. All4Geek. Check out the YouTube channel. And he really likes me as the guest co-host.
See, this is part of your competition, right? You just wanted to butt in so that you would be like, that guy's the best co-host ever.
Yeah. I don't know this Adam fella, but he sounds like a solid guy. He likes the technophiles. That's fine by me.
All right. Bye, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the episode with Kyle.
It was great. It was fantastic. Woo, time flies.